Oh, do I feel good today? What is up, universe? Welcome in. You know what time it is. It is Football Friday here at DTL. We are live every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Stadium Simulcast for all you degenerates out there on our YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube on your way in, hit that like button for us. It really helps the show grow. If you watch us on Stadium, wherever Stadium is, you will find us. Amazon Prime Video, Roku TV, YouTube TV, in a matter of less than 2 weeks, Direct TV as well. Now, as always, we are the most transparent show. And last night, when a narrative goes opposite and we question why would the Jets be favored, well, the books had it right. And a first half of nothingness. But if you watch the primetime show live, you had a lot of cash tickets. And we talked about a lot of the information that you need in order for that game if it went in a certain way. But Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdowns, 211 yards. Now, we have tons of content here at the brand on both sides of the fence. The easiest way to do it, hit that subscribe button. Then turn on the notifications. Then every single time we start a new show, like Weekend Wagers today, it's a crew exclusive. You are a premium member, and we have so many new ones this week. 3 p.m. Eastern time today. That drops with DG and the boys. And then also DTL, the podcast audio at 2 Eastern, and then premium members get the video. Let's welcome in now my tool. Oh, my God. Uh-oh, I can only imagine. Good morning, AB. What's going on, sir?
Good morning, Coach. Morning, crew. All right, look, last night it was Punt City, wasn't it? That was a bunch of punts.
How about hitting for the first time ever the punt bet that you had inside the 5-yard line? I found myself rooting for every single punt. I swear to God, I was like inside the 5, and then we finally cashed it. What, third? I think it was third quarter.
Second quarter. We got it for halftime. It was nice.
Man.
And I'll tell you what, like, here's a trick for everybody out there. If you're looking at a game, all right, and you start to count how many punts are going to be in there, if you have 6 or more, play that bet because it's live every single time, man. You'd be surprised how many punts get down inside the 5.
I'm gonna have to start paying attention to that because last night it was very exciting. It was a very
it's a ton of fun, and it's like plus
really
200 every time. I know.
Yeah, every time, man. There's more and more of these fun bets. All right, the crew, you guys always get to vote together. What are the options today for the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day?
All right, we got one game here. We're going to go 4 options, okay? Nuggets plus 4, Timberwolves minus 4. You're going to go Nuggets, Timberwolves over 218 or under 218. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show. And Scott Davis says, I look like I should have Curious George next to me. That's hilarious. Scott, that's
you
awesome.
kind of do like you belong either in a Crocodile Hunter movie or something like that from Down Under. Somewhere from Down Under.
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. 9 games on the slate today in the NBA. Also, coming up with the show, we got Soupies, plays and fades. We've got the 5-pack. We've got it all. It's Football Friday. It's a vibe here at DTL. So without further ado, it's time for the picks. All right, we got to give props where props are due. I'm going to go to the bottom left because yesterday somebody on Primetime Live says, I kind of like the Jets and the under. I think that's going to be the man from the dirty predicting everything right last night. Big Chuck, good morning. You get our 15 seconds.
Morning, Coach, crew. The Jets just kind of stuck out in that spot. It was a now or never for them. Luckily, they came through and that score stayed under. So, hey, we even got the points band to throw in. So excited about this weekend, ready to get it going.
His low-key flexes are just, they like nails on the chalkboard. But, hey, there's nothing you can say. Now, he loves himself a little Football Friday. We do fantasy. We do PrizePicks. We do it all. He's got the best beard in the game. Soupy, what's good?
What's good, everybody? Hey, it pays to watch live. Me and TJ Parker in the chat, we did Ducks and Sharks on the puck line. Same game parlay. It hit.
So you came into our football show and started talking about hockey in the chat.
Yes,
that's what you're telling me.
This was yesterday.
Yeah, I really during the NFL show, or was that during the morning show?
Morning show.
Okay, I'm going to let you off the hook for that one. All right. Finally, he is getting more and more nervous by the day. The executives at Stadium and Amazon Prime, they've called me this morning. They said, Coach, call us back when the show is over. We got to talk to you about DG. He will be hosting on Stadium for the first time ever, Sunday night, primetime live. Are you ready, sir? Are you prepared? Good morning.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. I think the executives, they actually called me before this show. They want to offer me more money, so they were just wanting to verify with you. But just like our boy Scott Smith last night, cashed a John Morant triple-double plus 3,000. Great ticket out of you, buddy.
Wow, plus 3,000 on a job. Did it have to hit a certain level? Like it was like a 30, 20, 20? Or how did it get to be plus 3,000?
Just triple-double. It was a plus 2,000. He boosted it up to plus 3,000. So it was great.
I like it, man. I love hearing stories like that. I absolutely love it. Real quick, before we get to our picks, we got to look back at Thursday Night Football last night because, AB, we always break down the primetime games from every single angle. 7-0 at halftime, but then Aaron Rodgers, it was all smiles in the second half. 3 touchdowns. He only threw for 211 because he threw for, 34 yards in the first half. It took him a little bit to get going, but if that's the Jets team that they can put on the field that we saw in the second half, maybe they can do something.
Absolutely. You know, we listed it in the no-fly zone that the Jets and Aaron Rodgers needed to win the second half because they hadn't done that in any game this season, all right? And they finally did. And anybody, look, and I'm not saying this for the bet. I'm saying it as, like, look at the comparison. He ended the first quarter with, 2 completions, all right? Remember, we played over 21 and a half. He ended the game with 22, right? So we hit the bet, but it goes to show you how much more their offense was clicking in the second half comparatively to the first. So, yeah, they finally came out of halftime playing good, and look what happened.
And look what happens. And Devontae Adams, DG, and Garrett Wilson hit their catches, hit their overs. And so exactly what I said on primetime last night, if they're going to win, they got to go to the stars. And look, they went to the stars.
Yeah, you have to rely on your guys. And finally, it looks like Aaron Rodgers looked like a little bit of himself. It might be fool's gold, but man, he looked much better there in the second half, I guess, closing into the fourth quarter. It looked like a little bit of the Aaron Rodgers of old, but you can't fool me. I see through that.
Chicago says out of the darkness because someone knows the darkness. Big Chuck, you know the darkness down there in the big dirty or whatever we call it. Joe Mixon, that was a bright spot for a Texans team that if I'm watching that as a Texas fan or as part of that coaching staff, I'm very concerned with what I saw last night. Missing those wide receivers was evident.
Absolutely, and we kind of nailed that point throughout several shows that without those wide receivers, that would be a kind of a bad spot for the Texans. So Mixon, Mr. Man coming through, he cashed on several options. So hopefully people were riding him, and he got that touchdown. Remember we said a minus 125. That was just too low for a running back at his position. So absolutely, Joe
yeah,
Mixon
we did.
all the way.
Yeah, over 100 yards and that touchdown. And once again, this is the longest gap we've had of nobody cashing into the club and into the gym. But Soupy, we start from a fantasy angle. And last night, if you have Joe Mixon, that's a pretty good start to your week.
And I think this is what's going to happen from going forward because all they have is Tank Dell. Tank Dell had a good night too, but I saw Robert Woods catch a pass. I haven't seen him in like 3 years in the league. So if you have Joe Mixon, you keep riding him. If you need a running back, I would try to trade for Joe Mixon right now.
Yeah, our man Robert says, I think without those wide receivers, Houston may be a fade until they come back. Robert, I agree with that. Their offense looked putrid last night, only 6 points in the second half. All right, time to get to our straight picks. We always save Chuck for the bottom half of the show with his 5-pack from the 5 big leagues around this great world of ours. But AB, let me come over to you, big boy. I want to start with you first. Where are we going on this Football Friday?
Throw out the record books when you have rivalry games like this. South Florida, Florida Atlantic. We're going to take the over 47.5 because like Garrett Wilson and the Jumpman logo one-handed catch last night in the end zone, that was nothing compared to the highlights you're going to see in this one tonight. All right, we got Bulls versus Owls. All right, we're going to take over 47. Both these teams can score, and their defense is kind of slaw. Let's take the over. Have some fun on a Friday night.
Oh, I like having fun on a Friday night. Speaking of fun, Dave says, I just tuned in, and I'm trying to figure out if AB is doing his Butch Cassidy impression or maybe like a weird Indiana Jones thing.
Hey,
Well,
you
got
can't
lots
stop.
on
You
right
can't
now.
stop the. Yeah, you can't stop the Sundance Kid. Also, Christian in the chat brought up the most important point of the day.
Yes.
Candy's half off at the store today, fellas.
Mm.
Just,
That's next level kind of stuff right there. I mean, come on. That is next level kind of information right there. And so true. Maybe I'll go the day after and all these kids will knock on my door again. Oh, it was so fun to listen to that doorbell just ding, 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 ding. And not a damn thing they can do about it. All right, Big Soupy, come over to you. You got me a little SGP and a straight play. What do we got?
Ohio State, Penn State is going to be the game to watch. I'm looking at the line of scrimmage. Drew Allard is playing hurt. His right tackle is also playing hurt. Ohio State has 20 sacks this year. They may get Will Howard running all over the or they may get Drew Allard running all over the place. Will Howard might be too, because Penn State has 46 tackles for a loss, and he is going to be playing with his third string left tackle in this game. I'm wondering if Penn State can finally get over the hump of beating ranked teams. 3-19, James Franklin is. He's only beaten Ohio State once out of the last 10 games, but I'm going with the under. I think that's the safer bet. And then Oregon going to the big house. We've already seen a top offense go into the big house in Texas and put up 30. I'm going to go a little safer. We'll tease it down a little bit to 27.5 team total. This is also at 14.5 for Oregon. I'm going to be a little safe. I don't know if Michigan has the offense to keep up with Oregon, so I think they'll play it safe towards the second half. That's why I'm going to go minus 7.5 with Oregon and the team total over 27.5.
Are you good?
I'm good.
How do you think you went right there? You think that was like a 7?
Yeah, 7.4.
7.4. All right. Charles, how do you think you did right there on Supernomics?
7.4.
Team player. DG, big boy. I got 3 that I'm staring at, and if I didn't see it, is that Indiana? I can't quite. Is that Indiana that you're on this weekend? You're up.
Them Hoosiers, baby. Indiana team total over 30.5. I know it's a little juicy at minus 130. It's at our best number there at getting them to 31 points because they've had 31 points in every single game, and they average 42. Curtis Rourke's coming back from a little minor surgery on his thumb. We're going to cash with Indiana. Then we're going to go to Tim Hardaway Jr. They play tonight. Under 2.5 rebounds at plus 130. If you're asking yourself, one, it's an under. What are we doing? But yes, 3 plus 1 of 5 this games. He's not a rebounder. He doesn't rebound. He shoots the ball. Going against the Knicks, who will not let him get rebounds. He's had 0 in the last 2 games. Tim Hardaway Jr., stay on the outside, shoot your 3-pointers, let the ball go to your friends. And then the last one, we got Cowboys and the Falcons. We have Brandon Aubrey and Cooville. All we need is 48 yards for one of the field goals. Both guys have big legs. Aubrey can cash this self, but we're going to go the longest field goal over 47.5 for longest yards at minus 105.
Hey, Subi, you want to take this one?
No, I just want DG to keep embarrassing himself, honestly.
Coach, we got a ruling. All right, the panel.
Please.
Soupy got an 8.
Hey, what did DG get?
DG
Oh.
got a 0. No, I'm kidding.
Reverse.
A reverse.
We'll give him an 8 as well.
Well, wow, AB, you're much nicer than I would have been today. The chat says 3 for Soupy. Jason says 8.8 for Soupy. And DG, they're not even spending any of their time giving you a rating. Oh, the Uno cards say 3. That's going to be a new thing. AB, keep those Uno cards handy.
Got him.
We need to find 1 to a 10 and the skip card. All right. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what just happened right there. All right, we're just getting started. It's a vibe on Football Friday. Are you kidding me? We got NFL. We've got college, a little educate, entertain. It is DTL Live only on Stadia. All right, all you degenerates out there that hang with us on our YouTube page, thank you very much. 9 games tonight, AB, in the National Basketball Association, and it's very easy to overlook certain things. And last night, think about this. Wemby, who was the number 1 pick last year, he had his second career 5x5, they call it. 5 categories, at least 5 in every category. It's like one of the hardest things to do. Does it kind of suck that we missed some of these performances because we're all wrapped up in football during November and October?
Yeah, because the NBA starts too soon. Same thing as college basketball. We miss half the college basketball season because it's being played during the most important time, right, of college football and the NFL. I get it. Like, you only have so much time to work with, but yeah, man. Also, shout out to Wemby. I thought that he would be like stick legs, like he couldn't,
I know.
like he's good, dude. Like the dude can ball.
And he's got a little bit of an attitude, DG, to him. He wouldn't even talk about Chet the other night. Won't even say his name for Oklahoma City. I kind of like he's got a little chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he does have a chip on his shoulder. I couldn't believe that he had 5 steals, which is big, but the 5 blocks, understood, but 5 steals and 5 blocks, those are 2 categories that are tough to find any stats in. So shout out to Wemby. He is a complete unicorn, an alien, whatever you want to call him. He's a freak.
How does he do in the fantasy basketball world, Soupy?
Because he can get the shots. He can steal. He can block. He can rebound. He is a top guy to always take. I love having him. He's on a couple of my teams.
Oh, my God. You play more than one team in fantasy basketball? Big Chuck, what are your thoughts on Big Wemby from San Antonio?
Looks like San Antonio made the right move got their man. So it looks like he's panning out. So hopefully he can win some more games and get into the playoffs so more of the country can see him in the playoffs also. I think that's the next logical step.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Speaking of seeing in the playoffs, coming up and educate and entertain after Charles's picks after the bottom of the hour, we're going to be discussing a basketball league, a new basketball league that could pay one female player over $1 million a year. It's true. It's true. That's coming up in about 16 minutes from right now. But we are back on Stadium, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's a vibe on Football Friday, DTL on Stadium. All the good people watching all over this great land of ours. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please hit that like button and then just start chatting away. Any questions for me or any members of the crew, put them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many questions as we possibly can. AB, this is the part of Football Friday every single week where we break it down. The biggest games of the NFL week. We start on Tuesday, and then Friday we say, where have the lines moved to? And then Sunday morning, we're live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, just on our YouTube to see where the numbers end up. The NFL is so important. So we got 3 big-time games this week, and you got to start at 1 p.m. Eastern in hot Atlanta, where all the Chick-fil-A's are going to be shut down for the day. This number has continued to rise to 351.5. No respect, AB, for the Cowboys at all.
No respect at all. The public's all over the Atlanta Falcons. Money is all over the Atlanta Falcons. And you know what? I dig it. I mean, what is Dallas showing that you would want to put your hard-earned money? Dallas, get you some of that. That's 3 now. That's where the line is sitting. Kirk Cousins is fun. Look, this is going to be a fun game. I can't wait to watch it, and I feel like 51.5 and over, because why would you play the under with either of these teams?
That's exactly right. Charles, I come over to you. You've been nailing these unders and totals a lot lately. Is AB on it with expecting a lot of points here?
I love the under also. I think this one's going to be high scoring. 2 teams that love to play on that synthetic, that turf and indoors. So I see plenty of points in this one. This is one where you can get the first half team totals. I see all type of ways that you can really manipulate the ways to cash tickets in this particular ball game.
So what kind of surface do they have down there in Atlanta? I don't think I've ever
thought
heard
it was
of
synthetic.
That. Oh, yeah, synthetic.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
it is synthetic turf. DG, let me come over to you. On this synthetic turf, I'm a little scared of the Falcons because when we were all in on them 2 weeks ago, they laid an egg and the Seahawks came to town and blew them out. Tell me that's not going to happen this week against Dallas, who all of their wins so far this year have been on the road.
They play better away for sure. And you're talking about being on indoor on that synthetic turf. I think that the Cowboys might be right there for that plus 140 money line. I think they're a team that needs to win a lot more than the Falcons. The Falcons really need to win as well. But I think that the Cowboys, backs against the wall, they have to show up. I think that they come into hot Atlanta and get the win.
Well, Raphael says, and he's in the chat, if you have any questions for our numbers guy, put them in there. Soupy, he says by kickoff, this thing could be close to 53. So if that's the case, if you're planning on playing this is why we do it on Friday. Put the play in now.
Put the play in now. Put the over in now. I actually am going to put Dallas at +3 right now. They looked like they were going to get blown out last week against the 49ers. They started to come back. They made that game interesting. When Dak and CeeDee Lamb are on, which they were in the second half, you can't stop them. If they could do that for four quarters, I think they could come away with at least the cover, but I think they could win.
I think they can too. Maybe I'm crazy. And AB, he doesn't like us to do this, but I feel like it's necessary. Our man Robert, he just gifted 5 more premium memberships. 5 more. But he's like, Coach, don't make a big deal of it. Don't say anything. Just let me do it. That's the ultimate crew member right there, AB. The ultimate crew member.
I mean, Robert is an angel from gambling heaven. And let me say, he is just adding 4 and 5 to the table every single time. We love
That's
Robert.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, Robert, like you were already a made man. And now, I mean, you're just, dude, you're the
We have dreams, don't we, AB? We have dreams of doing a live DTL at the Super Bowl or at the World Series. And I feel like Robert would be front and center. He'd be right there, right in the front row. I just feel that.
Robert will buy your ticket. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. You get 5. All right, let's go to the next featured game, DG. And this one, I think, could be the game of the week if Jordan Love is able to play. He hurt his groin last week, a non-contact type of thing. And he's been kind of in and out of practice, but nobody's saying anything. That's why I believe the Lions on the road, 6-1, they're giving 2.5. The Packers are 6-2. They're not a bad football team. Malik Willis, he came in and won a couple of games for the Packers. So what do you make of the number sitting at 2.5 right now?
I think that number means that the books think Jordan Love will play, because there's no way that the Detroit Lions would be favored by just 2.5 if Jordan Love was not expected to play. Because Malik Willis he's fine, but we know who he is. And going up against a good team like Detroit, I just don't think that they could score enough to keep up with Detroit with Willis there. So it has to be Love is going to somehow make a way to play this game.
And Soupy, that's been the thing so far. Everybody's thinking it's the Lions defense. It's this offense. We're talking 40, 50 points routinely. So you got to come in if you're Green Bay and say, listen, this isn't about status quo. We're still going to have to score some points regardless of who's playing quarterback for us.
Green Bay, they have a great defense, one of the best at gaining turnovers. Xavier McKinney has, I think, 5,000 interceptions this year. But still, that Lions offense with what they call Sonic and Knuckles, Jamari Gibbs and David Montgomery have coined themselves. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta is back. It's going to be a tough task for Green Bay, but I actually think I'm going to take the under in this. I hope it stays at 48 because I'll take the under.
What is wrong with you?
You're
gonna take the under in the main 425 game?
Reverse.
I like both these defenses. I do.
You just got the reverse card. You got to go back the other way. Charles, let me come over to you. Should this be a reversal? Should the Packers I don't even know what to ask. Charles, go.
This is the ultimate wait and see who plays, because if Malik Willis plays, I like the under. But if Love plays, I think we could see an over. And this line I agree with DG. It's kind of saying that Jordan Love's going to play, but we know how the Packers like to play those mind games. So the ultimate wait and see who's going to start this game.
It really does feel that way, AB. But you Malik Willis really better than anybody. And you told me last year when I was so negative about him because he couldn't do anything, he's certainly figured it out as a backup. And so the Packers, it's not just a punt anymore if Jordan Love is unable to play, but it's a significant drop-off.
Oh, it's a huge drop-off. And let me say this, all right? Malik Willis, and I have nothing against the guy. He goes out and works his tail off, like respect to him, right? But that black magic, all right, that Matt LaFleur has been pulling out, that doesn't last forever. If Malik Willis starts this game, bet Detroit as much as you possibly can, because it won't work against Detroit. I assure you on that.
Well, Big Fat Jack says this Malik Willis slander will not be tolerated. I apologize.
Just wait. I've
Yeah.
seen more than 2 games with Malik.
All right, quickly, let's get to the last one. Only a couple here because we got to get to sits and fades, which we absolutely love. But I just want to point out one thing in the chat. They're saying Cooper Kupp 100-plus receiving yards. I don't know if that's the case, but it's certainly, DG, the fact that the Rams are healthy again, that's why they're giving a point. And this whole division is really bunched up.
Yeah, Puka Nacua is the 100-plus receiver if you're going to play anybody. I don't know. Cooper Kupp, he's more the possession guy. So if you're looking for the yardage, I would go with Puka Nacua over Cooper Kupp here.
Yeah, and he actually left practice on Thursday, but the Rams are saying he should be fine by game time to play on Sunday. But Puka Nacua did leave practice. All right, this is where you guys come. You know our man. If you follow him on the Twitter, he will take care of you. And it doesn't matter what he's doing in our DTL fantasy league. It doesn't matter. He is our expert here. So, Soupy, who are we playing this week, and who are we sitting this week?
I'm starting with Bo Nix. I couldn't believe this, but he has 37 deep passes, which is the second most in the league. And we know how bad the Ravens secondary is. They're allowing the most air yards, most passing yards, most everything in the pass. And over the last 3 games, last 4 games, they've allowed 3 top 10 quarterbacks, including quarterback 2 twice. And then Cedric Tillman and Jameis Winston. When you are playing on the second team, you guys get connections. That's what they're doing right now. Tillman, he's just been incredible. 21 targets over the last 2 games. He's going against the Chargers. It's not a great matchup, but I just love the volume for Tillman and the opportunity. And then for my sits, Tua, he got knocked out of the game against the Bills. That's what led to the concussion. Up to that game, up to the concussion, he only had 1 touchdown and 3 picks. So the Bills are actually a good secondary this year. I don't like Tua for today. And then the Chiefs, best rushing defense in the league. They are going to stop Bucky and Rashad tomorrow or this Sunday for Tampa Bay.
Solid, Soupy. Solid. So those are our starts and sits. Charles, anything surprise you there? Would you play Tua against Buffalo?
Yeah, I actually think we're going to see some points in this one. And usually when the Dolphins go up there for whatever reason, they have a little bit of success. And I don't think it's going to be cold. That usually hampers him when he's up in Buffalo. So I kind of like that. Well, no, I would actually be starting him. I think he would be a good start. So I think we're going to see plenty of points in that particular game.
Wow. Interesting. GG, anything that you disagree with here?
I don't disagree. I actually like this. I was looking through the guys. One guy that he didn't talk about a lot was Cade Otton. Has been the possession guy for Baker Mayfield down at Tampa Bay, going against the Chiefs, who give up a ton of receiving yards to the tight end. His number's at 47.5. I would go way over on that.
That's the only one I would. That's the only Buccaneers player I would take for this game. Nobody else.
Is Cade Otton.
Yeah, he's the only one.
All right. AB, you're looking at all these. You're listening to the discussion. You're coming out of the outback. If you were just walking out of the forest right now and you saw these names, what would you say?
I'd say it's Bo Nix time. Let's go. I'm all for it right here. I like the young kid, man. And the Broncos are playing better than anybody thought that they would. It's not perfect, but I do like it. Also in the chat, I'll tell this is my start for the week right here. Everybody's talking about how Robert and really everybody in the crew can get their betting slips and picks up. Tell you what, give me a day or 2. I'll figure out how you can post them on our YouTube page, on the community page directly. Everybody. We'll get that set up. So I'll let you know when it's done. But yeah, we need a place where you guys can do that too. And what better place than right there on our YouTube page for everybody in the world to see.
So you want everybody in the chat, if they want to put out the picks that they decide to play, we'll be able to do it on our page in real time.
In their own picks, right? Like, I want to see those. Look, y'all are cashing money. Robert's making $60,000 a day. I want to get in on some of that action too.
Me too. Me too. We're not proud. Are you kidding me right now? Well, as you can see, the sun is coming out here out west. I kind of like how that looks in the background. It's kind of cool. We're only about halfway home. We still have to get to college football. We've got to talk about PrizePicks. We've got to talk about our 5-pack. It is detail. It's a vibe on Football Friday right here on Stadium. All right, you degenerates that continue to watch on our YouTube page. We appreciate you so much. AB, last night, Garrett Wilson and they showed ad nauseum the side-by-side of OBJ in the same stadium, and then that Garrett Wilson touchdown where he got a foot down, the same foot down, and then a shin before he went out of bounds. Was that the greatest catch we've ever seen?
I mean, it was close, man. Like, that OBJ one is going to be tough to beat because he's falling back. Like, I think OBJ, like him being like the original, I can't put anybody above it, but my God, I mean, Garrett Wilson's catch last night was unfreaking believable. And 1 foot tapped twice should count as 2 feet. It should absolutely count as 2 feet.
I bet you they may make that, because we've seen it a couple times, DG, where a quarterback or a wide receiver has hit the same foot, which is incredible body control first and foremost, but that should count. It really should.
It should count. I love that catch. And honestly, I think it was Devontae Adams said that because he's an Adidas player, they might have talks with him to bring him to Jumpman, because it was the exact same logo as the Jordan logo, the Jordan Jumpman logo. It's very fitting.
I saw it. Somebody on Twitter put it side by side. And Soupy, I mean, can you imagine if he would have potentially got an endorsement deal last night out of that catch? That was insane. Oh, no. Charles, you go. Charles, you go. You go, Charles.
He might just, but you put it up against LBJ. Just remember, he had the 3 fingers too that he caught that with. But it was an extraordinary catch. But don't forget the David Tyree. There's been some good ones, but that one was outstanding. I can't argue that it wasn't right there in the top 5 of all time.
AB, go.
Soupy, on that mute, you owe 1 membership to the cat.
I saw somebody say the skip card. Coach got him the skip card on that one.
That's even funnier. That's even funnier. Oh, my goodness. So many premium members now. And now we have one more courtesy of our man, Soupy. Got to control that mute button. Got to control that mute button. All right, still a ton to come here in the second half of the show as we have crossed the bottom of the hour. Thank you guys so much for making us a part of your day. And I'm going to leave the sun there. I like that. All right, we are back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. Okay, we have crossed the bottom of the hour, and we're having a great day. It's a 5 on Football Friday. I am the coach, and I got the best crew in the damn game. AB, DG, Charles, and Soupy. They are all here today. Now, we just got done with fantasy, so we're going to still continue that flow. We always like to put together a little PrizePicks thing. So before we get to Chuck's Big 5, Soupy, I want to come back to you because I know you put together a nice little Week 9 thing for us today. What do you got?
I already mentioned Bo Nix in my fantasy. I want you to play him in PrizePicks, not only because also the Ravens are going to score, so the passing is always going to be in the game script for Denver. He is going well over 214.5 yards. I would consider even playing that one in the Demon, but the Demon definitely goes to Bijan. The Cowboys' run defense is awful. 154.6 yards per game. That is last in the league. They're also last in rushing efficiency and second to last in rushing success. And then maybe it's the probably half a bowl of candy I ate before the show, but I am changing my CeeDee Lamb Goblin to a regular play. Even go with the Demon. He has 31 targets over the last 2 games. I don't know why I played him safely. Do not. It's 78.5 yards. Play that for him.
So he's changing the Goblin, but keeping the Demon. Oh, good Lord. AB, what do you got?
Yeah. There's nothing that a producer loves than, producer man making a graphic, putting it up, and then he changes it in real time, and it doesn't say what he's changing it to. Like, when nobody has.
Well done, Soupy. All the time we spend on this show, you go, hey, you know what? Let me just change that. But AB, the graphic looked amazing. It looked amazing. Well done.
Well, everybody tried their best, and now we don't know what to play.
Oh God. Okay. There. Good job, Soupy. Solid there. All right. Now you guys know we got to just exit stage left on that one before AB's head blows off. Oh my God. But you guys know we've got 5 packs of questions, and today it's going to be brought to you by a place that I'm going to be smack dab front seat in the middle of the theater weekend in Taipei.
You said no more secrets.
Shut up and let me drive. Come on, who is this guy?
I'm an undercover DEA agent to finally take Kwong's operation now.
Bring me my wife, and you killed John Lawler.
So you came back after all this time for Kwong, but not for me?
I just take 1 weekend. I'm not gonna lose you again. So you haven't changed a bit.
Thanks.
Weekend in Taipei, only in theaters November 8th.
1 week from today. If you're not going to see that movie right there, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Now, Big Chuck, I pray that you don't change any of your picks right now, because look at what AB has made for you. Just for you. It's just me and me, just me and you. We're cashing in the dirty. And he's even spread it out over the days. So let's start with our first one today. What do we got?
France League One, Lille versus Lyon. Lyon first half team total over half a goal. I like Lyon as a dog in this spot, and they've scored a first half goal in 4 straight. Saturday, Bundesliga, Dortmund versus Leipzig. The both teams have scored in the first half. I see a 1-1 type first half, and these two teams have produced 2 or more first half goals in 5 straight, and they've cashed this both teams to score in the first half in 2 straight. MLS Saturday night, Atlanta United versus Inter Miami. Lionel Messi, anytime goal scorer. He has 3 career goals versus Atlanta and 20 on the season. This game just screams him getting a goal based on this matchup. Moving to Sunday, Spain La Liga, Catalan Derby, Barcelona versus Espanyol. Barcelona team total over 3.5 goals. They come in averaging 3.8 team goals at home this season. Lastly, EPL, Man United versus Chelsea. Another both teams that score in the first half, with this one also cashing in the last two meetings that they have faced each other.
That is your 5-pack from 5 different leagues around the world. We do it every single Friday right here on Football Friday. Now, this is a big-time weekend in college football. Are you kidding me right now? For some reason, the powers that be decided that they would put the first college football rankings on this Tuesday, which just happens to be here in the United States, Election Tuesday. But I'll still be watching. And AB, we've got to start with Ohio State, Penn State. Many people in chat are wondering about that game. It's a top 5 matchup. And let's not forget, AB, when we talk about the playoffs, and the fact that a lot of these conferences now, it's just straight down. There's no more north, south, east, and west. You've got Oregon undefeated. Penn State's undefeated. Indiana's undefeated. And in the conference. And then Ohio State has 1 loss. We could see some of these teams highly ranked get shut out of the playoffs. These are very important games. We'll start right there.
We could. Look, the mesh point for the College Football Playoff Committee is going to be teams with 2 losses. All right. You're going to have a couple get in, but that's going to be kind of the cutoff area. And Ohio State's already got 1 loss. Granted, it's the number 1 team in the country. Let me just say this. Head coach Ryan Day for Ohio State has to win this game. I'm not kidding. He has to win this game. Has to.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because he has been getting his ass kicked by Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. He's been losing every big game that's up there, and Ohio State fans are used to winning. They do not accept anything else but winning, and Ryan Day knows this. I am taking Ohio State here with the spread. He has to do it Saturday.
All right. I got it. So DG, I believe he has to do it, if I'm hearing AB correctly. This, I don't know that we've ever seen, certainly not in the playoff era, but this is a brand new era, and I could not be more excited. But this is why these games are always big. But this is why with the 12 teams, it's even bigger, because how you play is as important as winning the game also.
Yeah, if you look at Ohio State, they're obviously 3-1, and Penn State being 4-0. Penn State can take the loss and still have a chance to get into the, the playoff in general. But Ohio State, if they take that loss, they're done, because they still have Oregon above them. They still have Indiana above them. At that point, they're pretty much done for the playoffs.
Yeah, you're damn right. Elliot says AB is vibing today. I think he has to, Elliot. I believe he has to vibe today.
Feeling it, baby.
You damn right he is. I love football prize. If you don't come in with energy, then don't come in at all. That's what I always say. I mean, I literally say it every day. Big Chuck, will come over to you, because Ohio State and Penn State, I think the guys have nailed it. I mean, you're the number 4 team in the country, and normally In years past, yes, this would have meant everything, but whoever loses this game doesn't have a shot. Now that's not necessarily the case, but other factors are now playing in.
Exactly, and I definitely like. I went back and forth on this one. Honestly, I kind of liking Penn State at home, in the under in this one, and I think even if they lose, though, they still have a shot to get in. They're kind of made for the playoffs, but I also agree with AB. This is a must-win for Ohio State, so this is one that really has me conflicted. So, if I had to take the game right now, I would take Penn State in the 3 and the under. I think that they could keep that within a field goal, but I could definitely see Ohio State just squeaking one out, maybe winning by 1 or 2. That's how tight
that take kind of has me conflicted too. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking now. Under points as we go over to Oregon, Soupy, and being the number 1 team in the country, you never thought that a last-second, 1-point win over Ohio State would loom that large. And I think a lot of people are still forgetting the fact that Oregon is a Big Ten team. So now they're laying 14.5 in the Big House. This is something we never, ever see. But that's how far down Michigan has fallen. But you can't sleep on them, Soupy. But is 14.5 too much?
I teased it down for that reason because Oregon's going to win, and I think Oregon can win convincingly. They've gotten better as the season has progressed. The offensive line was struggling a little at the start of the season. Same thing with the run game. It's all progressed. But Michigan has no passing game. 0. None. Nil. I don't think they've had 100 passing yards in the last few weeks, and that reflects down. They're going to run, so you stop the run. And what that does, it's quicker possessions for Michigan, puts more pressure on their defense. Their defense now are playing from behind, something they didn't do at all last year, and they don't know how to fight it. I teased it down, but I actually do like them to win by 14.5, but it necessarily doesn't mean that they could be the best team in the league. I still think it's Texas. I still think Ohio State is even better. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm in, remember in the back half of Billy Madison and they gave their take and you're sitting here going, what did I just listen to? You guys remember that? Yeah. That's what I feel like the last 2 minutes has been.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having heard.
No. Well, I didn't say that.
No, he did in the movie. That's what he ended it with.
Let's go down. God willing. I love Football Fridays. I'm telling you what, too many shows are serious. Not here, damn it. We love to laugh. So, AB, they never laugh when Florida and Georgia get together. Jacksonville, Florida, where I go to do PGA Tour events every single time. Florida has not been good this year, but Georgia, which team is the real Georgia, AB? Is it the team that gave up a bunch of points and lost to Alabama, or is it the team that went to number 1 Texas and just rolled them up?
We're standing on business ethics in this one. Also from that movie. Shout out Big Cheesy there. Look, I'm taking Florida with the points here. Florida's playing much better football. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not. But Georgia was on fire, and then the bye week came. And usually you want bye weeks. They're good. Not if you're playing at your ceiling. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. And everything we've seen in offense in college football this season, Indiana's the only team that's figured it out. Same as Notre Dame. You just keep going. There's no stopping. You just keep going. Georgia will win the game. But if you're giving me 14.5, I'll take Florida, because let me say, 2 days ago, this was Georgia minus 17. All right. It's come down and continued.
Wow. Yep. So get it now before it goes back up. I got about 20 seconds, DG, for you on Florida, Georgia, sir.
I do like Florida to cover there, and I think Georgia has a problem if Carson Beck can't throw. They need to run. But if you like that other game, that Michigan, I think you can go play the parlay, the Michigan plus 14, and then the under on that, because that's the only way it happens.
Wow. The only way it happens is a same game parlay, Michigan and the under. It's going to be a fascinating weekend. I don't know what's going to happen, but this college football playoffs, I'm here for it. All right, still to come, we have a crazy story coming out of women's basketball. If it's true, my head is exploding. And also, if you weren't here at the top of the show, we've got a great live number today. So I know a lot of you, your break doesn't come to like 10:30. Don't worry about it. We got you covered as well. It's DTL. It's a vibe live on Stadium. All right, you degenerates out there, giving my crew a much-needed break here on the Stadium. Legend, a lot of our viewers, AB, are very young, but when you talk about a guy who's legendary in the business, Bob Costas has announced that he will be retiring from full-time announcing 42 years. And whether you like him or not, this dude was a legend. You got to tip your cap.
Oh, Bob Costas is a legend, and I'll tell you this real quick. His best story ever. All right, late in the mid-'80s, he's calling a baseball game. He's young, goes to a restaurant with his wife in New York. After the game, he's sitting there. Owner comes up, says, hey, somebody wants to say hello to you. He's like, oh, okay. Turns around. It was John Gotti who came up and said, Mr. Costas, just want to tell you, big fan of your work. And young Bob Costas goes, thank you, sir. I'm a big fan of yours, too.
What do you say to John Gotti? Oh, my God. But, DG, this guy, he literally did everything. Baseball is his bread and butter, but I got to meet him several times. He is a little arrogant, but who amongst us is not in this particular space? So congratulations to him.
Bob Costas is an absolute true legend. I'm going to miss hearing him on a lot of the calls because his voice is just something you remember from your childhood and growing up. But a fun fact, I've heard that Soupy is now listening to the Bob Costas book on tape. And so that's interesting. That's where he's getting a lot of his really good lines from as of late.
Wow. Soupy?
What DG was talking, I was listening to Bob Costas' book on tape.
Great answer.
AB, I swear at some point I'm going to start running classes on how to talk trash, how to give takes, how to talk trash while you're giving takes. The only thing worse about a joke is if you explain the joke. You know what I mean? Which you didn't do there, Soupy. I'm just making a point on how everything has completely gone off the rails today, and that's when the show is at its best. But I have a feeling nobody's going to say anything to you, Soupy, in the chat today. Nobody would say anything to Soupy, would you? Would you? All right. It's just about time for you to get into the world. We have a little bit of time left and a little more to get to. This next story is interesting. We're back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, you degenerates out there, do not forget that we have a lot of content everywhere. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. Later today, fresh new episode of our DTL, the podcast. The audio drops around 2 p.m. Eastern time for you crew members. And today we have at least, 5, 10 new premium members. You get a lot of extra content. You get an extra segment that we tape after the show with more picks in it. You also get weekend wagers today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Live, we break down all of the 1 and 4 o'clock games. Not on Stadium. It's only on our YouTube channel Sunday morning. And then Sunday night, DG for the first time ever hosting on Stadium Sunday night football. It's the Colts. It's the Vikings. Joe Flacco will be the starting quarterback there. But, gentlemen, as I bring you back in, we do have a story today that is kind of fascinating because it's not always just about betting. But this whole year, AB, the WNBA, they had a lot of attention. Caitlin Clark, first team all NBA, WNBA, but it was a lot of negativity. But apparently there's enough money in the coffers for a new 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled. And it's going to be 36 players, 12 teams. And they are holding a place for Caitlin Clark. Wait for it. WNBA, a max salary, number one player, you're talking about $150,000 a season. But AB, they are saving a spot for Caitlin Clark at over $1 million a year to play 3-on-3 basketball. Make the numbers make sense to me.
I can't unless this is money laundering. So let me just go ahead and tell you this. All right. Anyone who is thinking about investing in this, don't. You will not make your money. You will lose it. Look, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be honest. I don't see this working at all unless you have some crazy advertiser that just has to burn tax dollars so that they don't have to spend it to the IRS.
It kind of feels like Tony Khan, who started AEW, is people say it's a tax write-off for his father who owns the Jags. It feels like that, DG. I don't even know where this is going to air. I don't know if they have a TV deal, But the women who are playing in this league also, they're going to get equity in the league if they participate. And it's going to be, I wrote it down, 8 weeks, 6 teams of 6, 36 players over 8 weeks. I don't know if it's in the same spot. I don't know if they have to fly everywhere, but it doesn't, the finances, they don't make sense to me here. And Caitlin Clark, they just said, hey, we're not pressuring her. She's got a spot whenever she wants it.
When does this start? What season will it be in? Because that's my biggest thing is about the investment is like, where are they going to get the eyeballs?
Coming up now, because it's supposed to be an alternative to the players going overseas. Because remember what happened to Brittany Griner at the airport in Russia? They can make over $1 million, the Diana Taurasi's of the world and people like that, if they go overseas to play. They're trying to eliminate that, but I just don't know that this will the 3-on-3 league with Ice Cube, that is struggling. Why would we watch a new league with women, and then where are they getting the money from?
Yeah, the only way they're going to get that investment, or honestly, they probably have to tie themselves to Caitlin Clark a little bit. I know the million's a lot, but if they want to have a chance to get off the ground, they're going to have to grab those Caitlin Clark truthers. There's a lot of people that only watch women basketball, as we've seen, because of Caitlin Clark. So maybe that's not the worst investment, because if not, without her, I don't see how this swims at all.
All right, so apparently, because Producer Man is amazing, it's going to air on TNT and True TV, as we always joke. Where is True TV? And it starts in January, so in 2 months. So, Charles, there's a lot of big-time names. Angel Reese, Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins-Smith. So there's some big names that are playing in this thing. Do you think this will resonate at all?
I'm curious to see if it will. I'm trying to research this, and when we first brought up the subject, to kind of see how this worked, because I know with the Messi deal, he kind of got stock in Apple, so that was a big selling point for him to come to the MLS. So I know they're going to throw that in. I guess they can afford the revenue, since there's only going to be that small amount of players instead of the 144 in the WNBA, and the TV backing. So I'm interested to see how this is actually going to work. I know it goes off in January, but they definitely need Caitlin Clark to be the final piece to really sell this league.
You got to do it, Soupy. I mean, at this point, and I'm assuming we'll be able to bet on these games. I would assume that some book out there will take action.
I think the novelty of it, people will watch when it starts, but can you keep the retention of the audience is going to be the key. And that's what I was trying to figure. I was hoping you guys would bring up if they did have a TV deal. That'll certainly help, but you have to retain the fans. Can this do it besides with the WNBA game?
It's funny you mentioned retention of the audience, because I've been thinking the same thing with this show today. Are we retaining the audience after this debacle? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't here at the top of the show, don't even worry about it. We got you covered. A little something we like to call the whip around. All right, one nugget, 10 seconds or less. AB, start us off.
Tonight, college football, South Florida, Atlantic over 47. It's going to be a war on the shore.
Zoopy, let's go.
Watch the line of scrimmage in Penn State, Ohio State. Both offensive lines are hurt. Great defensive fronts. I think this goes under 46.5. And Oregon has scored 30-plus points in each of the last 7 games, but I'm going to play it safe. I'll go with the over 27.5 and the -7.5 same game parlay.
Boom and boom. DG, let's go.
Indiana has scored 31 points in every game this season. Indiana total team over 30.5 at -130. Then we're going to go to Tim Hardaway Jr. Buddy, just shoot the ball. Don't rebound it. We need him to go under 2.5 rebounds at +130. Then the Cowboys Falcons. Longest field goal over 47.5 yards at -105. Brandon Aubrey. All you need to know.
All day, every day, Sunday afternoon. All right, we love to play at least one game together, and we'll get to that after we catch in the Dirty. Charles, you're up.
France League One going off today. Lyon first half team total over half a goal. They've scored a first half goal on 4 straight. Saturday, Bundesliga, Dortmund Leipzig. The both teams to score in the first half. MLS Saturday night, Lionel Messi, anytime goal scorer. He has 3 career versus Atlanta. Sunday action, Spain La Liga, Catalan Derby, Barcelona. Team total over 3.5. They average 3.8 at home. Lastly, EPL action, Man United versus Chelsea. Another both teams to score in the first half.
And Man United moving forward with a new manager on the sideline as well. The Howie Schwab Crew play of the day, AB, is what?
The Nuggets +4. Crew all over Nikola Jokic tonight on the road.
All right, very, very good. And do not forget the Raffy stat of the day. And he always sends one in. So, AB, where are we going today? There it is. Boise State, they're in action tonight. What do we got?
Boise State 2-11 against the spread as a favorite of 20 points or more versus teams coming off a straight up underdog win. They're playing San Diego State tonight. I believe they're 23.5-point favorites, somewhere around there. Line's been moving huge, but goes to show San Diego State might be the play tonight.
Yeah, and DG, from a playoff perspective, Boise State is sitting in the driver's seat because they're the top-ranked team of the non-Power 5. So tonight's a very important game for them as well.
Yeah, it's a huge game because if they keep winning, they're definitely going to be in the playoffs. They're the best team. And I even looked at both teams to score in the first quarter at +150. That's a play I'm going to keep looking at throughout the day.
And Charles, as we go into the weekend, how important tonight from a stylistic standpoint is Boise State?
They know they have to run it up, especially being a lower grade school. Every high octane performance matters when it comes to getting into the playoffs.
15 seconds, Soupy. Talk to me.
Ashton Gentry. I really do want Boise State to be in the playoff because I want to watch Gentry play against some of the best defenses in the country. So I'm rooting for Boise State all the way.
All right, that's going to be Tuesday night. Don't know if we'll do a live show for it or not, but it's going to be busy election and all that good stuff. Do not forget our next live show will be Weekend Wagers, 3 Eastern today, premium side, 10 a.m. Sunday morning, only on YouTube. And then, of course, primetime live on Sunday evening from 7 to 8, Colts, Vikings, and then Monday night, Bucks and the Chiefs. But now it's time for you to go out into the world and for you to pay it forward, be kind to one another, and know this, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your mark. See, I got you there. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, Limbo, man from the Dirty Big Chuck, my man Soupy, DG, producer man always behind the scenes, and AB looking sharp as always. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day. We also replay at 4 p.m. Eastern time only on Stadium. Good luck.